find Watson seated at his desk, writing another of the adventures he had with his friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, consulting detective. These stories, published in the monthly Strand magazine, were eagerly anticipated by readers in all Britain.
Title. Casbah Murder. Murder in the Casbah. Ah, yes, the Casbah. I remember it as a place of countless streets winding up and down, past colourful cafes where 100 tongues were spoken, and often a street would end in shadowy darkness, which a man would be foolhardy to enter alone. Yes, that was the Casbah that Sherlock Holmes and I knew in that winter of '99. We happened to be out there because, well, let me start at the beginning. It was on a wintry night in Baker Street, 4 years after the conclusion of a strange murder in Montrevel Castle. A charming young girl sat on the sofa of our lodgings in Baker Street and talked to us.
Mr. Holmes, you can't say you'll have nothing more to do with the Montrevers.
My dear Miss Tedfield, I found the true murderer of the Dowager Countess, and he committed suicide. Surely the case has ended.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, you found the real murderer. But now, I want you to find the unfortunate young man who fled England 4 years ago when he was suspected of the crime.
This is a new development, Miss Tedfield. Please tell us about it.
It's Douglas Milton I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. He was the heir to the title, wasn't he?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. He was a sensitive, artistic young man, and when he knew he was under suspicion, he ran away.
I see.
Of course, everyone regarded his flight as an admission of guilt. That is, until you found the real culprit, Mr. Holmes.
I do imagine, Miss Tedfield, that your interest in the missing boy is not entirely, shall we say, altruistic.
I'm in love with him, Dr. Watson.
Oh?
We were engaged to be married when he ran away. Mr. Holmes, you have got to find him. He must know that his name has been cleared and that he's inherited the title.
Have you heard from your fiancé since he ran away 4 years ago?
Nothing.
Any clue as to where he's hiding?
Only this. It's a painting I received anonymously a year after he had left. It was sent from a forwarding address in London. Here it is, Mr. Holmes.
Yes. Thank you.
A small oil painting. Very good one too, I'd say.
Yes, it's a splendid sense of composition, and his use of color is unusually brilliant. Do you recognize this painting as the work of your fiancé, Miss Tedfield?
I am certain of it.
Yes, it's a wonderful use of color. Observe the delicate shadings of that sunset and the brilliant green of the oasis. This scene is extraordinarily reminiscent of the desert in North Africa.
Yes. Yes. That's why I said I was sure he had gone abroad, Mr. Holmes.
But why should he go to North Africa?
A good place, Watson, for an Englishman who imagines himself to be escaping justice. Remember, the Foreign Legion is stationed there.
Mr. Holmes, do you think he may have joined the Legion?
It would seem logical. No questions are asked of those who join it. They are given a new name and a French-Algerian passport. Its colorful obscurity might easily appeal to a young fellow in trouble. Hello.
What is it, Holmes?
There are quite a few grains of sand in between the canvas and the frame here. Miss Hetfield, do you mind if I pry the canvas loose?
Mr. Holmes, do anything you like if it'll give you any clue to Douglas's whereabouts.
Give me your penknife, will you, Watson?
Here we are.
Thanks, old chap. Wait a minute. Here we are.
Can you see anything?
Uh-huh. Look. The words Sharif and Elafroon are stamped here. Sharif is probably the framer's name. But Elafroon is a town some 50 miles from Algiers. That settles it. Miss Hetfield, I accept your case. Watson and I will go to Africa and try to find your fiancé, Douglas Milton.
Thank you.
Monsieur Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. I have heard so often of you, but I never thought I'd see you here at the headquarters of the Foreign Legion. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Well, Colonel de Bresson, I'm trying to trace an Englishman who has been missing during the past 4 years. I've reason to believe that he might have joined the Legion.
Ah, I shall have a look at my records. Let me see. 4 years ago would be 1895. If Sherlock Holmes is tracking him, then I suppose he was in trouble. In his own country. If he was in trouble, he might easily have come to us. We ask no questions. 97, 96, 95. In that year, 3 Englishmen came to us. One of them died of dysentery 18 months ago. One of them deserted, and we have been unable to trace him. The third is my adjutant who brought you in to see me today.
And he is, I would say, about 3 inches shorter than Douglas Milton. And men do not shrink in the Legion, eh, Colonel?
No, they do not, Monsieur Holmes.
Then the fellow who deserted must be our man.
Unless it's the one who died of dysentery. Colonel de Bresson, how would you advise us to set about trying to find a deserter?
Monsieur Holmes, there's only one place in Algeria where a man can hide from the Foreign Legion and remain hidden.
Oh? And what's that place?
The Kasbah in Algiers.
Then that's our destination, Watson.
Be very careful, gentlemen. The Kasbah is a place where the law is exiled. The police have no jurisdiction there. The only rule is that of strength, violence, and trickery.
We shall be very cautious, I assure you. Goodbye, Colonel de Bresson, and thank you for your help.
Goodbye.
Well, I must say that I think Colonel de Brisson rather exaggerated the dangers of this Casbah. I suppose you're going to tell me that this cafe is a headquarters for dope smuggling ring or white slaving or something else.
Its ramifications are even more extensive than those you've mentioned.
You're joking, Holmes.
I assure you I'm not, Watson.
What?
My old friend Demel is chief of police in Algiers. When I told him our mission, he advised me to come here. A 500 franc note and the proprietor can obtain any and all information regarding the underworld. For as little as 200 francs, he can arrange a murder. So that gives you some idea of the relative values here in the Kasbah.
Good Lord. Then you've already spoken to the proprietor?
Oh, yes, yes, a charming, scoundrelly fellow by the name of Rafi. I gave him 500 francs and asked him to set his underworld grapevine in motion to see whether an Englishman living and hiding here in the Kasbah could be found.
I thought we'd come here for a quiet meal.
Here comes Rafi now. Let's hope he has news for us. Here we are, Rafi. Come join us, won't you?
Rafi works fast, does he not, Mr. Holmes? Your friend...
My friend knows that you're working with me. Now, what have you found out?
Oh, a drink first. The tongue of Rafi is parched. Oh, would you have me die of thirst before I give you my news? Vermouth, Cassis.
Oui, Monsieur Rafi.
All right, you have news for me then.
But yes.
Good.
Ver-
What is it?
Well, you will pay me more money? No?
But I gave you 500 francs. You said you'd do the job for that.
Oh, can I help it if some tams are more costly to make wag than others? It took the 500 to get the wag. Am I not to have anything for my own trouble?
Votre vermouth cassis, Monsieur Rafi.
Good. The gentleman will pay for it.
Oh, well. All right. There you are.
Merci, Monsieur. Merci.
I will drink to your health, gentlemen, both of you. You will pay me more money, no?
But my friend's already given you 500. You should stick to our bargain, Uncle Fellow.
My information is a bargain at 750 francs. It would be a bargain at 1,000. But Rafi will let you have it for 750 because he likes you.
I see.
You will give it to me, no?
And if I refuse?
Oh, then you get no information. And perhaps I spread news in the Kasbah that would make it uncomfortable for you to be there.
Great Scott, that's blackmail.
Oh, I get the money, no?
Oh, Rafi, you're a scoundrel.
Of course I'm a scoundrel.
Here's your money. Now, the information.
There is an Englishman here in the Kasbah. I do not know his name, but he's tall and fair-haired. I cannot tell you where he lives, but if you go to the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs, you will find a girl who sings there. A girl who sings like a nightingale. Her name is Aisha, and she will give you the information to lead you to your Englishman.
A girl named Aisha in the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs.
That is right. I would suggest, though, that you go there in disguise. Two well-dressed Englishmen might find themselves in trouble. For a small fee, say 200 francs, I will escort you there myself.
Thank you, yes. I think we can manage by ourselves, Rafi.
Well, if your business is concluded very quickly and time weighs heavy on your hands, Rafi can take you to some places of rare interest. Dancing girls that would wither one's eyeballs with their beauty. For 500 francs, gentlemen?
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you. I have a feeling that time will not weigh heavily on our hands. Good night.
You work too hard, gentlemen. You should learn how to play. Good night.
On my soul, I think that fella's the biggest blackguard I've ever met.
I quite agree, old chap. But he is amusing.
By the way, Holmes, don't you think that when this case is over, we might have a little, time on our hands?
Watson, you're incorrigible. But I think... Watson,
What is it?
look at that man sitting over there in the corner by himself.
By Jove, yes. His face seems familiar. We've seen him before somewhere.
Of course we have. His name is Oliver Leeming. We met him at the inquest on the Montrevor case.
Of course we have. So we did. Now what on earth do you suppose he's doing here in the Casbah?
Not on vacation, I'm sure. Mr. Oliver Leeming, if you recall, is a cousin of Douglas Milton's, the man we're searching for. If Milton were ever declared legally dead, Mr. Leeming over there would inherit the title and the estates.
It looks to me as if we're not the only people in the Casbah who are searching for the missing heir.
That's true, old fellow. Come on, let's go and talk to the gentleman. Mr. Oliver Leeming, how very odd to meet you here.
Well, 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 Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Won't you join me?
Why, thank you.
World's a small place, isn't it? Or has someone said that before? I wondered if you'd see me sitting over here in the corner.
Oh, you saw us then?
Of course, but you seemed in such deep conversation with that scoundrel Raffy, I didn't want to disturb you.
Very considerate of you, I'm sure. Why are you here, Mr. Leeming?
Oh, I'm on a business trip. Today's my day off.
As I recall it, you're in the publishing business.
Correct. What a memory you have, Mr. Holmes.
It seems peculiar that you should be on a business trip here. Are you planning on opening a publishing house in Algiers? Or are you searching the Casbah for new authors?
Why not? I'm a great believer in encouraging new talent.
Mr. Leeming, why don't you admit that you're here for the express purpose of trying to find your cousin, Douglas Milton?
Mr. Holmes, you've discovered my secret. The great Sherlock Holmes and his watchdog have their eagle eyes on me. They know that. I succeed to the title if Douglas Milton dies.
Yes, Mr. Leeming, we know that fact.
And you have fathomed my plan to find Douglas before me so that I may inherit the title. How lucky I am to meet you here in the Casbah, where you cannot arrest me. Well, it's a race against time, gentlemen, but I have a head start, as you will soon find out. Goodbye, and the best of luck to both of you.
What an extraordinary fellow. He's joking, of course.
I believe not, Watson. I think he labors under the whimsical belief that the best method of discounting the truth is to state it baldly, so that it will not be believed.
Great Scott, we'd better move fast.
Yes, old chap, we must. I'm sure we're entrants in a race against death. We must get back to our hotel and into our disguises as quickly as possible. After that, we shall visit a young lady named Aisha in the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs. And I'm certain, Watson, that it will be the first time two men have ever entered the Casbah for the express purpose of preventing a murder.
Holmes and I went back to the hotel where Holmes quickly adopted the disguise of an Arab guide, while I assumed the role of a tourist. And we started off on our search. Outside the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs, we met with a rude shock. Good Lord, it's the fellow we met at that rogue Ruffy's cafe.
Yes, Oliver Leeming, with a knife between his shoulders.
Oh.
He's dead, Holmes. Shouldn't we get in touch with the police?
What can they do? Remember, there is no law in the Kasbah. In any case, this man is beyond our help. Our job is to protect the living. Come on, old fellow. Let's go to the Cafe of 1,000 Sighs and find this girl Aisha. The girl Rafi says sings like a nightingale.
C'est moi qui suis sa petite, son âme, son anamite. Je suis vive, je suis charmant, comme un petit oiseau qui chante. Il m'appelle sa petite bourgeoise, sa toquille, sa toquinoise. D'autres rient, on lève tous yeux, mais c'est moi qui l'aime le mieux. C'est moi qui suis sa petite, son anamite. Je suis vive, je suis charmant, comme un petit oiseau qui chante. Il m'appelle sa petite bourgeoise, sa toquinoise. D'autres rient, on lève tous yeux, mais c'est moi qui l'aime le mieux.
So that's the girl Aisha. She's very beautiful.
Don't forget our role of tourist and guide, old chap. Master, would wish to meet this Aisha?
Oh, very much indeed.
I will see if it can be arranged, Master. Wait here, Watson. I'll see what I can do.
Right you are, Holmes. Be careful now.
Mademoiselle Aisha,
What do you want, greasy one?
there is an Englishman at that table over there. He wishes to talk to Aisha.
Which one is he?
The man who sits at the table in the corner. He is very rich, Aisha, and he admires you a great deal. He told me to give you this 500 franc note.
So. Very well. You may bring him to my rooms, top of stairway, to the right.
Very good, Mademoiselle Aisha. I fetch him.
Tell him I shall be waiting.
Aisha will see you now, Master. Follow me, please.
Oh, very well. I hope you know how you're going to handle this, Holmes.
Don't worry, Watson. In this case, I think honesty would be the best policy.
Well, I'm not so sure. This place is a thief's kitchen if ever I saw one. You'd better be careful.
First door to the right at the top of the stairs. This is it.
Come in. Oh. Come and sit over here, Mr. Englishman. Greasy one, you may leave us.
Mademoiselle, I may as well tell you at once that I am not an Arab guide. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
What do you want with me? Why you tweak your way in here?
Don't be frightened, mademoiselle. I can explain our mission in a very few words. My friend and I have come in search of an Englishman by the name of Douglas Milton. We have good news for him.
What make you think I might know of him?
A gentleman by the name of Rafi suggested that you might.
What is your good news for this Englishman?
That he has been cleared of suspicion of murder, and that he is the rightful Earl of Montrevor.
That means when he knows this, he will leave the Kasbah and return to his country, no?
Naturally, my dear.
I do not know this man. I have never heard of him. Here is your 500 francs.
Not so
Goodbye.
fast, Aisha. Oh, Patricio.
Oh,
I've been listening from behind the screen. Gentlemen, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Douglas Milton.
Douglas Milton, we found you at last.
It gives me infinite pleasure to have succeeded in my mission. How do you do, sir?
This is very exciting.
It is indeed.
Yes, I think the occasion calls for a drink. What'll it be, gentlemen?
Well, I think a glass of port, don't you?
Yes, it would be most appropriate for toasting the new Earl of Montrevor.
Splendid, splendid. Aisha, bring glasses and a bottle of port and some creme de menthe for me.
you are not going to England. I will never let you leave me.
Quit being so melodramatic, Aisha. Bring 2 bottles and some glasses.
Very well.
Mr. Holmes, I can't tell you how I appreciate your trouble in coming all this way to find me. But I must tell you at once, there's a problem that makes it very difficult for me to leave this country. You see, I deserted from the Foreign Legion.
Yes, 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 we know that, my boy. In fact, that's how we first got onto your trail.
I shouldn't let that fact worry you, Mr. Milton. I'm certain the British consul in Algiers can arrange to have any charges dropped against a peer of the realm.
Oh? Well, I never thought of that.
Here.
You must excuse the glasses, gentlemen. Tumblers are hardly correct, I suppose. But, well, it won't spoil the flavor, I'm sure. Ah, 2 glasses of port and a creme de menthe. Only 3 glasses, Aisha? Bring one for yourself.
I do not wish to drink.
But I insist that you do. Bring a glass, Aisha.
Why should I drink if you are leaving me?
Mr. Milton, do you know Oliver Leeming?
What? Of course, he's my cousin. Yes, he came here half an hour ago and threatened me.
Did you also know that he's lying dead in the street, murdered?
Well, yes I did. If we weren't in the Kasbah, I wouldn't tell you this, but Aisha stabbed him. She followed him when he left here and slipped out, and then got back just in time to sing her song a few moments ago. Oh, you needn't look so shocked, Dr. Watson. Life is cheap in the Kasbah, and Aisha is a girl of violent passions. Come on, let's drink.
A toast to the new Earl of Montrevor.
Hey, what's the matter?
Oh, silly mistake. I can't bear port. Very un-English of me, I'm afraid. But, well, after all these years, I don't feel very English. In fact, I'll probably find it very hard to adjust myself to my old life when I go back. Or should I say, if I go back.
Since you feel that way about it, Mr. Milton, why go? You can claim the title and the revenues of the estate without leaving Algeria. You could stay here and live on the income.
I didn't realize that'd be possible. Are you sure I could do that?
Oh yes, I'm quite certain of it.
Huh.
But if you doubt my word, I suggest we all adjourn to the British consulate in Algiers. They can put you straight on the matter.
That's a good idea. Let's go over at once.
I have been listening to you, mon amour. You are planning to leave me.
Put down that knife, Aisha.
If you go from the Kasbah, I shall never see you again. You belong to me. If you try to leave me now, I will kill
Put down
you.
that knife, Aisha. You've done enough damage for
Why,
one night.
you